circle and getting a high amount of points technically is higher than the average of 10.6, right? Because now, especially with that 0, they already had a 0 before that as well. So there's been a couple of games where they actually haven't gotten much. It's not as if they're actually averaging 10 points a game. They're more like averaging probably like 13, 14 points a game as we get our phase 1 circle here for game number 2. And for those maybe not aware, of course, tonight's schedule for the maps will be 3 games of Miramar, 2 games of Erangel. So we're starting with Miramar first. We will then end the night on Erangel. It is the Miramar week here for PCS1 APAC. Victim Rise as we watch them sort of parachute down, picking up a win. And what was actually the third best or the third highest kill win performance, Jordan? I saw on your lovely spreadsheets that you always create, there was the 17 kill win, and there was 2 13 kill wins, and then taking in third spot, Victim Rise with the 12 kill win.
Yeah, they've done pretty well in that particular game, but it's always going to be a question of consistency for the teams down toward the bottom of the scoreboard. Looking at the damage ranking, interestingly, Xenox, it is quite cool to look at this because you get to see all the way down to 16. So normally we only get to see the top 5. You see a couple of Maogi players in there, Golden Cat certainly, and of course all the Fury guys in as well. So it's sort of in line with what we've been seeing from the matches so far in the competition. But yeah, I think to touch back on the point there for VTR, it's really a case of sort of going back to back, or not necessarily. You don't have to necessarily go back to back and win those sort of games, but you do need to go back to back in terms of putting some good points on the board.
Yeah, thanks for your always ever insightful opinion, Mr. Lettuce Man.
Thank you. I do appreciate that from all of the folks in the Twitch chat that are asking me why it is the length of my head or why I look like a lettuce. I mean, look, I can't do anything about it. It is what it is.
It is what it is. What about Astra, though, as we look at Extreme right now, a vertical sensibility of 1. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming vertical sensitivity. He could be sensible with his vertical sensitivity, but Astra have been pretty good tonight as well, starting things off in match 1 alongside Fury, Carnage, the Oceanic teams getting a pretty good circle in game 1 as well. But, 8, 6 kills respectively between those two, Fury and Astra. Being able to at least sort of make as much as they could from a circle like that, getting the points that they did. Fury, in fact, finished 2nd in points gained in total from that last game. Astra was like 4th or 5th. It gives them hope, I think, going in for the rest of the night, then also Saturday, but also the future. The more good games you have against these very strong Southeast Asian teams, the better. It just builds that confidence base. You can build some momentum moving forward. And really, these are the sort of games and signs that these teams need.
And it also puts Fury and Astra back into the top 10. They were outside of the top 10 going into this week, but already starting things off pretty well. Fury up to 61, and that's pretty much within striking distance of everyone apart from Q Confirm at the moment. So who knows where they can go from here. Now, admittedly, I do just want to touch on the circle because we haven't really spoken about that just yet. It's gone very far out to the west. So this isn't going to be as easy of a game for the likes of Astra and Fury, and certainly not for VTR. Victim Rise, who won the first game of tonight, have probably got the longest rotate. Obviously, looting all the way up to the northeastern side of the map. So they've got a long way to go. This is the kind of circle that does tend to show a little bit more conflict early on in the piece.
You've got the Death Valley in there as well, which is what Golden Cat, Day Trader currently sort of on opposite sides of. That was never going to go well for Vandal. Entry Fragger able to get away. One of them was going to go down. It was probably fortunate it was the guy on the back of the motorcycle. Entry Fragger may still yet not make it much further either, taking a few shots. He drives around the Monte Nuevo fields, and Entry Fragger and Eagle Sentinel Shooter had a very good game 1, Jordan. They were sort of just cleaning up on the north side of the circle that we had for match 1, and it was Vandal early, who's their top damage fragger as well for the team, so not ideal. But what I love seeing the most out of this APAC region is that standings. You look at like the bottom 4, bottom 5 teams, and they're also close to the 4 or 5 teams just above them. It's extraordinarily close from like Divine to Carnage, only 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, that is generally what you tend to get when there is one team that's sort of pulling pretty far ahead, because it means they're sort of sponging up a lot of the points. We saw similar when, for example, Atletico in Season 2 of Pro Circuit here in ANZ were able to get something like, I think it was 600 points or 550 points or something out of a season. The rest of the competition was extremely close, but they were just so far ahead of everyone else that they were sort of grabbing all the points that other teams were trying to get to catch up with each other. So I wouldn't say Q-Confirm is necessarily in that position right now. Like, they're not that far ahead, but they are picking up, I would argue, more points than you would normally see from a first-place team at this point of a competition. 11 games in. Still getting more than 10 points a game is a very respectable total. Cerberus Esports are the ones that are closest on their heels. 84 for Cerberus. So, to be fair, Cerberus, like, normally you would put 84 points after 10 games or 11 games, and you'd think, that's pretty good. Like, we're in a position to probably win this competition. And now you start to think, well, I mean, I guess, arguably, yes, they are, but it's a bit of a trek for them to overtake Q-Confirm. Here's Carnage on the rotate in. Monty and Bryn. They have a rough rotate as well. They sort of were a team that has been traditionally leaning towards Impala on Miramar, and they were dropping in that direction early on, Xenox, but after seeing the circle, they didn't necessarily commit to it. Now they're driving very far down to the south. Jexy will just fire a few shots here onto Maogi as they try to go rotating past. No problems just yet for Maogi, though.
Yeah, Carnage not the only one. Gearbox, Cerberus all coming in very late. Victim Rise up north coming in very late as well. And probably not the circle you want to be coming in late to either because of that Death Valley. If it does become a vocal point, playing around that is just horrific. Trying to push up that sort of... It's like a hill, I guess, both sides. Chumacera as well, which currently Fury Australia occupy the south side of Chumacera. Very good position to hold probably right now with this sort of circle. But then in saying that, you know, what have we got? 1 minute and 5 seconds till phase 2. Could very well go up north to something like Monte Nuevo, which then sort of changes the dynamics of this game from something like Death Valley over to a city game, which then you can have a whole bunch of teams going inside of Monte Nuevo. Then maybe it goes to the fields where you kind of can't have any teams. And it's that mad dash scramble of teams trying to make their way out of a city. Chumacera still obviously, you know, in play as well. Lots to be done. The thing that we do know, Jordan, is we can't go really that much further out to the west because of that mountain pass, which kind of acts as water to the game. The game's mine, it's water. And I don't sense we're going to go down to something like Valle del Mar. So a lot of teams have congregated towards the center point here for phase 1, hoping that this is going to be relatively central for phase 2. 20 seconds, we'll find out. Carnage now rotate past Gearbox's chin. You can only fire a few shots, and those are going to be very ambitious shots as well. 10 seconds for phase 2.
The issue here, though, for Carnage is that this is going to screw their rotate a little bit further. Look at the map right now. They're going to have to go down south. You know, they're probably not going to go all the way down to Los Higos, but it's just going to mean that, this rotate gets even tougher. As you see now, the circle goes back up to the north. More or less expected, Xenox. You know, we weren't expecting to go too far down south, but Carnage are going to spend 90% of this game rotating. Same for Cerberus Esports, admittedly, who are also even further actually out than Carnage are at the moment. But this is just one of those games when you loot on the other side of the map and the circle's gone all the way out to the west. It's just a case of, well, what can we really do about this? Hopefully we're going to be able to forge a way into this one, but I don't know that it's so much now down to Carnage as where the rest of the team set themselves up. If there's a path in that Carnage can potentially find and Cerberus can potentially find, then maybe there's something to say about it. But Gearbox certainly are trying to make their life difficult. They are not giving this one up for free.
Well, potentially what could end up being, and I say could, a blessing in disguise for not just Carnage, but also Cerberus Esports, these long rotates going into the blue. By the time they actually make it to the Phase 2 circle, we may very well then have the Phase 3 circle pop, which if it then goes onto Monte Nuevo, like really hard feeding that city, then they've got themselves an out. They can then just send it straight for the city. They'll already be in their vehicles, so they can go straight in. They could probably not be the first team in, but they could get in there pretty early on and cement themselves a position inside of Monte Nuevo. Of course, still have to see whether or not that happens, but there's not too much else. I mean, La Drillia is still in the mountain around La Drill as well. Sort of the El Pozo fields up north. Again, don't expect it to really go much further out to the west as we see Gakon top on Seva. That's one way to jump out of your pickup truck, as Gakon says hello with a little bump. Always the funny moments. But it's been about 11 minutes so far, and we've only had the one death so far. That was Eagle Sentinel Shooter. So it's been quite going here as we still head into Phase 2.
Well, that car's not going to be going too much further for Canaxi, so we'll need to pick up, or perhaps they're just going to set up shop here. Buriram are in the circle down the south at the moment. I do like the position for them, though, if the circle does sort of shift back down to the south. There's a crate to take a look at. Up near El Pozo. I'm not sure that any team's going to be running toward that one, to be quite honest. Homemark Gaming have bigger fish to fry right now because they're being forced into an engagement with DIC. I dare say that one will be left unlooted.
Can I just say, Jordan, as well, looking at the map, which again, for those who haven't got the map up on their maybe second monitor, PCS_map on Twitch, go and have that up. But Fury Australia, if they get fed for Phase 3, then Phase 4, they're not going to have too many teams coming in from behind them. Could be a very good feed. They got a good spread around the west side of Chumacera. Of course, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts and hypotheticals, and really could sort of still feed anyone going into Phase 3. But if it does go their way, the fact is they're not going to have any teams coming in from behind them. Whereas if it does go center, you're going to have teams, of course, coming in from all directions towards that Monte Nuevo region, which, if it does go center, we'd be feeding the likes of Astra, Golden Cat, Divine Esports as well. If it goes north, though, the same thing can be said for the likes of Bahamut Gaming, DIC, Victim Rise as well, potentially, who are, of course, looking for back-to-back wins here.
I've just been watching the map while you've been having a bit of a chat, Xenox, and I did notice Gems has pushed forward for Q Confirm. Now, he's got himself into a bit of a better position. You can see just coming into that compound now on your screen on the minimap. See where this circle shift does go, but it's already a bit of a better rotate in for Q Confirm as a result of Gems' position. But that's about as hard shift of a hard shift as you are going to get, Xenox. We saw a lot of those on day one. Things did calm down on day two, to be fair, but right up above Monte Nuevo, and I mean, Bahamut Gaming would not have been expecting the circle to go there, but they're cheering absolutely after seeing that.
That is a nasty, nasty circle. Bahamut Gaming are probably going to be in those whites. I think are in that position. I could be wrong. Can't really...
I think they've just got a bit of defilade to play with. I'm not sure that there's any buildings for them. Well, there might be.
I'm pretty sure it's like the double whites and they've got the defilade behind it. I might be thinking of the wrong location, though, but regardless, they are going to be in that circle. Still, there's going to be a lot of teams now on the move. Most of the teams coming from the south. When I mentioned before sort of the hypotheticals, the north side only had about 2-3 teams. So now that we feed north for Phase 3, a lot of teams on the rotate, which means we're probably going to see a lot of fights. That kill feed most likely going to light up early here in Phase 3, unlike Match 1, which kind of waited till about Phase 4. Nice nade from Levi's, gets knocked down at the top one Sever. They'll flush him out. They'll get that elimination, and Mulkey Esports are going to be down a player for the remainder of this one. Fury on the rotation. Matey from Day Trade lands a few shots. Roden starts to spin out. You don't want to be spinning out in the middle of the road there. And Jukesy's got Waika Kamukau with him as well in that vehicle. Fury now into the Phase 3 circle, going past Golden Cat.
I don't know how easy this one's going to be for Fury. They may actually elect to just pull up here. Jukesy certainly has. Astra, having lost a player, they're in an engagement with Q Confirm, and that's not going to be an easy one at all. Svit hanging onto the grenade. You can see as he charges forward, cooking it, looking to finish this off. I think that's gone a little too deep. Bounces off the vehicle, off the hood of the car. But, oh dear, Extreme. He's copped another one. Jowman finds that kill for Q Confirm. And it seems Astra are in a bit of a sticky spot.
Oh, I think they're in an enormously difficult position. They're sticky. They're sitting dead deep into the middle of a swamp. Q Confirm may elect to back off here if they feel like they're going to put themselves too much out into the open. But Q Confirm, this fight in particular is happening out to the east of Monte Nuevo. Most teams have already gone sort of trying to go past Monte Nuevo, or they're out to the west side of it, for instance. So there's not too many eyes in this location to help Astra out. Bryn, is he about to get run over by Subang? He is. Basil did get knocked out. It's a 1-for-1 trade between Bryn and Basil. Rain gets knocked down as well. He got 2 of them. Oh, Subang just goes bang bang. B2 with a knockdown though. Does get the elimination onto Subang. Stops the run of Cerberus momentarily. He is the last one standing for Carnage. And what was... Oh, now Ghoul's going to go for it as well, isn't he? He's going to try and run both B2 and Rain over. Looking for revenge as we go now in 5 seconds' time to Phase 4.
Oh no!
Oh no, it's happened again. He got the knockdown onto B2. It's now still only Rain up, I believe. He's the one who got revived. And a 1-versus-1 against Ghoul. Nade in hand for Rain and Carnage. Their lives are on the line here. Can he get the revival to Bryn if he can? Nade lands onto Ghoul. Behind the bug, he goes prone. Second one's in a really good spot. Ghoul doesn't realize he doesn't react in time at all. Rain will finish him off, but he does lose Bryn. 3 kills for Carnage in what was a very much comedic exchange between Carnage and Cerberus.
A cluster of fun is the way that I like to describe that one, Xenox. A lot of laughing going on from Cerberus, I'm sure, but he who laughs last laughs loudest, and it is Carnage that does outlast Cerberus. End of the day, those points are not enough for Cerberus to continue closing the gap onto Confirm, who do seem to have a decent game on their hands right now. God Meow has just absolutely booked it right into that fence and has to pull up, but MC watching and waiting for him to come around the corner will put a quick end to his life. What a crazy passage of play, and poor old Rain here is even being camped now by Nordra.
Well, poor old Rain. It's also poor old Buriram. Nordra is the last one alive. And we speak about the teams that are able to sort of catch up to Q Confirm. Well, Buriram, Cerberus, both haven't shown up at all today. Rain into the pickup, trying to make his way forward. Not inside of the blue, but Nordra is. And from one you said, poor old Rain, it's certainly going to be poor old Buriram. One thing I want to bring up, Jordan, there's still 3 players of Astra alive. At one point, it looked like they were about to be wiped out cold by Q Confirm. They only lost Extreme. Zoid had already sort of rotated to a different position, as Rain is about to rotate to the Afterlife in a second by MSC. But Astra's still with 3 up. Fury have made their way into Monte Nuevo, and a couple of teams like Bahamut, DIC, and even kind of Gearbox to a degree in the fields of Monte Nuevo, center of this Phase 4 circle.
Oh, Rain, I don't know how you survive with that grenade. It's just grenade physics in this game. Molly, though, is going to spread right on top of him, and he's under pressure. Yanku will finish it for MSC. Carnage getting a few points on the board in that one, actually, considering they did manage to get rid of the majority of Cerberus. So it's a game where at least they don't go out with nothing. Nordra, however, is going to suffer much the same fate, it seems, because he is out in the middle of nowhere, and Golden Cat have a bead on his position. I dare say he won't be surviving too long.
No, it's a matter of sort of when, not if, for Nordra. It's now another game as well. The Buriram aren't going to get anything. As we just quickly transition to see Jet just get obliterated by Rossiter Jr., who continues to kind of lead the way for MSC Theraton. He's been the star man. If coming into this tournament, a lot of talk was around Yoshi Binburi, in the MVP of the Thailand series. Rossiter had sort of taken that throne, at least in my eyes, for PCS1 APAC.
Not sure how Nordra is still alive, but it seems that Golden Cat aren't too eager to leave their compound. May well have to. 22 seconds left here for Phase 4. Finally, Nordra is going to fall. That's to Yanku, though, from MSC. We seem to be having a bit of a better game here. But where does the circle shift go? This is going to dictate who's going to be the winners and the losers. Could go right into the center, and then Gearbox will be happy. DIC will be happy. Bahamut won't be too disappointed either in that respect. A little bit over to the east, though. That keeps Astra in. They won't have to move, and now they actually have a pretty good spot to play with. A lot of defilade for them. Q Confirm with gems as well. Locking down this 2-2 split alongside one of his teammates. Not looking like they're in too bad of a position, but all of the teams that sort of banked on Monte Nuevo have to start moving out. So this is where things do heat up a little bit again.
It gets very difficult for those teams in Monte to make their way out of the city. Gen 4 is going to be taken out by Jaxi. Eagle Sentinel Shooter looking to capitalize off their Match 1 performance here in Match 2 once again. But Day Trade, Golden Cat, Fury, Divine to a degree, kind of. As much as those other teams I mentioned. Pushing out of Monte Nuevo. Certainly going to be the hardest for Golden Cat and Day Trade. The Golden Cat sitting in 3rd place right now. Buriram below them by 1 point, eliminated. Cerberus above them by 5 points, eliminated. You know, they're kind of just staying alive here to try and get into that 2nd place. Bahamut's going to be breached by Victim Rise. Our winners from Match 1 now making the move onto the compound of Bahamut Gaming, who didn't really sort of live up to their Miramar standards in Match 1. Looking to change sort of the tune here in Match 2. For some reason we head over to Golden Cat, but I guess they're on the move here as well. Trying to cross the road here in Monte Nuevo. Namsi is gatekeeping them, nade in hand as he primes and throws it. It's the only one he's got. It's Waikikamukow from Fury, though, with a knockdown onto 6 sacks. The nade will do the rest of the damage, though, onto Golden Cat. Divine Esports lighting up the 3rd place team.
Very good stuff from Divine, and obviously Fury helping out there as well. Both teams gatekeeping Monte Nuevo. Day Trade also still has to come out, so it's not just going to be Golden Cat rather that we are seeing struggle to get across this road. Tinoy might be the last one that hasn't actually managed to make it into the circle here for Golden Cat, although Tonke isn't in a great position either. He's going to try and help out as much as possible with the utility, but I just can't see Tinoy getting out of here alive. There's no chance. That molly might actually end up being perfect. It's landed right on top of him.
The man's on fire, running away, and runs into the smoke. And somehow Tonke gets a Molotov into Turtle's building. How is Tinoy still alive? I mean, a bit of help from Tonke, certainly, but incredible. Finds that little concrete barricade. He's able to go prone. Divine, for a moment in time, have lost sight of Tinoy and Tonke. Tinoy, though, does finally get knocked down. It's Venotica from Day Trade, as Tonke has got the rest of Divine right in front of him. Day Trade, speaking about them, Jordan, potentially breaching, or at the very least, they're about to gatekeep Fury Australia.
Yeah, Ronan's managed to find a knock onto Venotica, though. And for Tonke, he does well to get one. Was always going to be traded, though, by Divine, and so they've finished off the majority of Golden Cat. Dumps Fury and Day Trade. So far, it's been a good day for Fury, but how much better can it get, or how much worse? That is the question. 2-for-1 trade so far.
Oh, Pucho's in trouble. The Molotov's perfectly placed, forces him out. He's also still, I thought he was on fire, but he still had to move. Hiding behind this bike. Insight may not be aware of his position here, but they've got him surrounded, covered. Does get knocked down. Can he get the flush and Insight? No, he runs out of ammunition. Fortunately for Fury, Day Trade eliminated. Wiped out by Fury Australia. All 3 kills go the way of Y. Kick a moo cow. No surprise there. But the job's not done, Jordan. No time for a respite. Jukesy is going to be a knockdown immediately by Namc from behind. Flushed as well. With Insight knocked down, it's only Ronan and Y Kick a moo cow standing. They need to fire back, find a knockdown. It's 2 versus 2. Namc and Turtle. Can Fury turn this one away back into their favor with just 2 players standing?
Well, that's great timing from Divine, but Fury still fragging at the moment. Waikikamuka's got himself another one. Headshots onto Namc. And there goes Turtle. Insight keeps it alive for Fury. They will lose another player. It's 2 players remaining for Fury, but there are still players on the board, and that's the important thing to note.
Over to Astra from one OCE team to another, and again, similar to match 1, being pressured by Q Confirm. We saw it happen earlier on, where they got the elimination onto Extreme. Zoidmate finds a standing still player, and he says, what is this? OCE screams. Can't believe he finds that here in APAC. You can't be standing still, especially on Miramar. Art God taken out. They were obviously being occupied by DIC, so he wasn't really aware that Astra would have that knowledge. There goes Fury Australia, though. They couldn't make it much further from that south side. They were always going to be proving to be difficult to make it into Gearbox's position, center of that Multinuevo circle. And that's sort of the double whites I was talking about earlier, Jordan, with the lip behind them. So I was correct.
Astra needs to be
gaming. As
Q
Lindsay with the Molotovs.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, Xenox. Astra had the right idea. It's a good rotation from them, but Q Confirm are also 1 step ahead. 74L, 1 survives on 2 HP, but Astra, they needed to go over this ridge. They kind of needed to breach that compound, because now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and the rock is there, and the hard place, of course, is Q Confirm.
15 seconds till phase 7. Q Confirm extending this lead that they've currently got over Cerberus, Golden Cat, Buriram. They had a falter in match 1, couldn't quite get over the hurdle, but now 3 kills, 4 players alive, placement points, and potentially a chicken dinner on offer if they can close this game out. Circle goes north, away from Gearbox, and sort of circle that is going to pay dividends for Q Confirm. And we've seen the amount of votes that they've got for the Pick'em Challenge, Jordan. There's going to be a lot of happy people with the way that this game has played out. But the fact is, there's just no one really competing against Q Confirm right now. Cerberus are very evidently missing their star man, Heisaki. Buriram have basically done nothing these first 2 games, and Golden Cat haven't been to their usual standard as well.
Indeed. And they even had a crate dropping on top of them as well, Q Confirm. So really just can't get any better for them, it seems. They've got the high ground, they've got a circle that hasn't necessarily fed them, but they are in it. Gearbox starting to push forward and take control of the map as well, but there's not that much cover for them to play with. Q Confirm can really just play Overwatch for the moment. They don't have to take any risky peeks. Risk versus reward is certainly low risk, high reward for Q Confirm at the moment, as the Groza goes into Svit's hands as well. What is Astra going to do, though? They definitely don't want to be getting stuck on that ridge. I think they do need to end up breaching Bahamut or DIC. And in fact, they are going. Lynxie and Nikus have gotten into Mr. Chan's building. So that's step one completed, but they haven't cleared the top floor yet.
I love that it's just a crate that just drops down just outside of the double whites. Mentioned they're inside of Mr. Chan's building. Well, now it's Astra's building. They've taken it. They've claimed it, Yankee. Thinking about checking out that crate could be risky, but then level 3 helmet, level 3 vest could be the difference maker in what could be an upcoming fight. MSC have kind of got it surrounded. The south side of these whites surrounded in MSC's favor. QC, you can see them on the ridge line just further and north. 19 seconds till phase 8, which isn't going to shrink too much, but would have to go north to really suit these teams. If it does go south, Gearbox could be in pole position.
A lot of watching and waiting for that circle to move on in. It does indeed go south. A bit of a hard feed actually for Gearbox. Still not going to be an easy game for them, I dare say, with Q Confirm on the high ground. But once Q Confirm has to come down, oh, there goes Nikus. Mr. Chan has gotten one. Grenade's going to be fanged down the stairs, and I dare say that's going to connect onto Nikus. It will. Might have hit Lynxie there as well. He is popped down pretty low. So another point on the board for Bahamut Gaming. Still, this game leaving a bit to be desired compared to their earlier performances on Miramar, but 5 kills and outworth a 6th placement. You can still get much better from this, to be honest, and it's not a terrible game. It's got to have to be Lynxie or Mr. Chan out next.
Yeah, and from here, I mean, it's got to be either of them not really making it very far either. Whoever is able to make it out alive from this position. I mean, MSC, Gearbox, Q Confirmed, you think will be the last 3 teams in some fashion. Mr. Chan, well, everyone can basically see you from that mini balcony. Illinix from MSC will claim that kill. Lynxie, of course, has the information and how makes his way out, but DIC occupying the other white building. One just moves at the last second, though. Lynxie, though, looking into the wrong room and taking a lot of damage from this blue. Too much damage. This could backfire for him, and, well, yeah, he was never really going to get much from that anyway. 74-01 puts Lynxie out. 5th place for Astra, at least top 5, and again, along with Fury, both of those Oceanic teams having a really good day 3. 74-01 knocked down. Unkwon up against it. He does find the headshot onto Illinix, and that could just sort of, I guess, change the story for the remainder of this game. But like I said, Jordan, MSC, Gearbox, Q Confirmed, the final 3 teams here.
Looks like he should just get rezzed up. The Blues not moving too quickly at the moment. Gearbox will certainly be hoping that MSC can help them out with a couple of shots in the direction of Q Confirm right now, because in a 4-on-4, every day of the week you're back in Q Confirm. Admittedly, they don't have that much cover to work with, but I dare say they're just out-frag Gearbox at this point. So I think it's going to come down to who MSC is able to third party. Maybe MSC can still win from here. I mean, they do still have 3 players alive. They've got 1/2 of the circle to themselves, and they're not in as close proximity to either of these teams as what the other 2 are. So should be Gearbox and Q Confirmed to get into a bit of an engagement first. MSC are copping some bullets, though. But, man, once these smokes run out, we're going to see some fireworks.
Yeah, not a lot of ridge lines, not a lot of cover to play, as you mentioned. Even these trees that are in the field right now, very skinny, not a lot there. Spit's got a Grozer as well. If he can get up close, he can really do a lot of damage on the Gearbox. Theodora opens it up with an 8 onto Rossiter Jr. There is that Grozer in hand, but Gems, JS, now Spit all knocked down for Q Confirmed. And, well, you mentioned that you would back them to out-frag Gearbox. It's gone completely in the opposite direction, Jordan. Jarman is the last one alive, and as good as he has been, probably the best player in PCS1 APAC so far, he can't even withstand the onslaught of Gearbox right now. MSC, Yankee to off, is Yankee gone. Gearbox, 8-kill win as they take out match 2 of the night, and they slaughter, literally slaughter Q Confirm along the way, Jordan.
They do. Look, Xenox, you can't be right every time, and in this instance, I'm glad to be proven wrong. Q Confirm only ending up with the 4th most amount of points out of that game. MSC getting some much needed points on the board. A lot of those coming from the kills. Gearbox have